Hello, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy at the Hatfield McCoy Museum in Liberty, Kentucky. Hatfield's McCoy's Museum.com. Or if you're on her YouTube channel right now, which you must be if you're watching this video, go ahead and click up top there. She's got a link to our website that you can go to. We're going to cover another one of our boards today. We like our boards because as you're getting older, of course, you lose some of your memory and it's hard to keep up. So I do that enough without not having the board. So on this board, all I'm going to do on this is American Vendetta by T.C. Crawford. That was a book. If you're ever going to read a book, this is probably a good book to read. And the reason why is because T.C. Crawford was a reporter for the World News in New York. Now, there'd been stories about the Hatfields and McCoys feuding and stuff throughout the years, and all the newspapers from West Virginia, Kentucky had wrote about them and so forth. But it wasn't until January the 1st of 1888, New Year's night, that they burnt the cabin down, and it made world news. I mean, it was just when they killed two more of Randall and Sarah's children. Right. And when they burnt the cabin and they beat Sarah. Then that made world news. And T.C. Crawford came from New York. Now, how did he ever get to meet Devil Anse Hatfield? Well, he went to the governor's office. Remember, the governor, Willis Wilson, was a friend of Devil Anse Hatfield. In fact, Devil Anse Hatfield named one of his sons, Willis, after the governor of West Virginia. Right. They were that good of friends. And the governor of West Virginia, because Devil Anse wouldn't take just any Tom, Dick, and Harry that come up there, they'd kill you. They thought it's bounty hunters. And so the Secretary of State, or whatever it was that was a friend of the governor's, the one that corresponded with Devil Anse all the time, the one that had brought him to the letter from Simon Buckner and showed Devil Anse and said, hey, they're wanting to extradite you to Kentucky before they actually burnt the cabin down. That's the man that brought T.C. Crawford to Logan County to meet up with Devil Anse Hatfield. Now, when T.C. Crawford come to visit Devil Anse invited him in. And when he left, he didn't only have enough for an article in the World News in New York. He had enough information that he wrote a book. And it was called The American Vendetta by T.C. Crawford. I'm going to read to you some of the excerpts from his book. Just 1, 2, 3 liners. Things that he said when he left. Now, it's funny, we was listening today, which I'd seen it before, but we was watching this historian, and he was on a YouTube channel, and he's talking about the Hatfields and McCoys, and he was talking about how they called us hillbillies, and it was like it was the worst thing in the world that we're hillbillies. Well, I don't know, I've kind of got used to it. You know, there's a lot of worse things than being called a hillbilly. That's right. You know, thing about hillbillies, we stick with each other when we're not fighting. It's okay, it's like a family. When you're not fighting with each other, it's okay for you all to fight with each other, but don't bring no outsiders in and so forth. So, but he acted like it was disheartening to be labeled a hillbilly, and he was showing pictures of different ones. He said, does these look like hillbillies? And it showed a picture of Lark McCoy and his family, suit and tie, Randall McCoy dressed up, suit and tie. But, you know, that's not the picture T.C. Crawford saw. Now, T.C. Crawford tried to see Randall McCoy, but Randall McCoy didn't talk to the media. How many times do you ever see a story where Randall McCoy talked to the media? Show me one picture where Randall McCoy's ever packing a gun or carrying a gun. There's not one. You're not going to find it. Randall McCoy was usually well-dressed in a vest or a suit and so forth. That's just the way that it was. So, wonder where they got that. T.C. Crawford got the slang name of hillbilly at, because that's what we were called, hillbillies. It was in this book. Yeah. T.C. Crawford, I have been to Murderland, 1888. Yeah. Anse called on all his followers, and they all turned out but Elias Hatfield. He thought they might be trouble growing out of the raid, and so he hesitated. His wife whispered in his ear, pleaded with him to stay home, but Anse called out to Elias, come with me or you're no Hatfield. Now he's talking to his brother, good Elias. What happened there is when Rosanna McCoy's brothers, Tolbert and them, had arrested John C. Hatfield. They come to him, and Devil Anse calls in all of his people. Let's go. We've got to go save Johnson. Good Elias didn't want to go, and his wife whispered to him, don't go. Don't get involved in this.
Stay home. Yeah.
Stay home. And Devil Anse said, either if you don't go, ye ain't no Hatfield. And Good Elias went with them. Now you also see later on where Good Elias wrote a letter to the governor because he wanted them to go to the cabin burning, wanted them to go to the assassinations, and he didn't go. And he wanted the governor to know that he had no part of it. And that
he was
Devil
afraid
Anse,
of him, wasn't he?
He was afraid of Devil Anse. Devil Anse put a hit out on him. Devil Anse said, shoot him on sight.
Yep.
Shoot his brother on sight. But anyway, that's just one of the things that T.C. said there. I asked Anse if he was a religious man. He said, I belong to no church unless you say I belong to the one great church of the world. If you like, you can say it is the devil's church I belong to. Well, now this is in 1888. This is, I think, the summer after they burnt the cabin down. I think this came out in September of 88, something like that. But Devil Anse said this in 1888. Now we all know that I think it was 1911 that Devil Anse was saved and baptized. Hope he was right. Hope it worked out for him.
I hope so.
Devil Anse is a man of intense pride, but does not know how to read or write. T.C. Crawford, 1888. I guess he found that funny that you could have that much pride and everything and couldn't read and write. Cap Hatfield deserves a more detailed picture. I do not think I have ever saw a more hideous, repulsive face in all my life on any human being. An entertaining cutthroat. T.C. Crawford, 1888. She will take a picture of all these and post you. This is just excerpts we've taken out of the book. This is how T.C. Crawford, the impression that he got.
That's how he saw him.
He went there to stay one day, and he stayed 5 or 6 days with Devil Anse. Said he lost 15 or 20 pounds. He couldn't eat the food. But this is what he's saying about these people. This is not what I'm saying. This man actually met these people. This ain't my opinion.
Nope.
Cap Hatfield is a bad young man without a single redeeming point. His right eye is watery blue. His other has been disfigured by the explosion of a percussion cap, thus, aka Cap. It gives him the appearance of being wild-eyed. T.C. Crawford, 1888. Now, you know, we're going to show you a story after a while on Shep Hatfield.
Yeah.
And Shep was also named Cap. And there's a story on the internet where they call him Little Cap and all this and that. And they try to refer to everybody as being captain. They're referring to Cap Hatfield as a captain also. That they gave him the nickname Captain after his father. Don't mistake, this man here talked to these people. He knows how he got the nickname Cap, and it was from shooting off a blasting cap.
He saw it firsthand. I mean,
a percussion cap. Yeah, T.C. saw it.
Yeah, firsthand. He was there when he talked to him, so he could see everything, and he took notes, I'm sure, of everything. So, I mean, he has no reason to lie. Yeah,
well, there was no reason. The name Cap didn't come up until modern day history since 2012, since the Hatfield McCoy
video, the movie
came out. Then everybody comes up, they come up with their own stories, and they're thinking Cap, oh, he must be Cap, he must be Little Captain. And like I said, when we get the Shep story over here after a while, you're really going to find interesting. But let's read on. You only got 4 or 5 more. Anse Hatfield told the story of the murders and charged them upon murderous people of whom he knew nothing. He was not present at the murders of the three McCoys and had not the slightest idea of who was responsible for the burning of the McCoy cabin. He said very frankly, no man who were there would tell anyone he was. T.C. Crawford, 1888. In other words, Devil Anse told him, I don't know anything about the three murders. I don't know anything about the cabin burning. But if a man was there, he wouldn't tell nobody. That makes sense.
Right.
A while ago, he said in one part of the book, he says, I've been to Murder Land. Now he calls it Murder Town. I have been to Murder Town, T.C. Crawford. After attacking the McCoy house and firing upon them and receiving it as good as they were receiving, they decided to set fire to the McCoy house, shooting them as they came out. T.C. Crawford, 1888. I don't know where he got that from. Devil Anse just said that if a man were there, he wouldn't tell you he was there. But he also talked to Cap and said Cap Hatfield was the meanest, baddest young man that he'd ever seen and didn't have a redeeming point to him. But somebody told T.C. Crawford that they attacked the McCoy house, and after the McCoys, the people inside, which was Calvin and Randall, fired back upon them, they received as good as they gave.
So, yeah, that proves a point about Randall not caring about his family and not wanting to fight back.
Yeah. They got as good as they gave, so they decided, let's stick fire to the house and shoot them as they come out. And that's what they did to two of them. Cap Hatfield has the reputation of being a coward. T.C. Crawford, 1888. That's not me. That's in that book right there. Instead of becoming a home guard that protected the families, they became robbers and murderers and practically led an outlaw life. T.C. Crawford, 1888. That's in that book.
Yep.
That's 1888. That's 15, 20 years after the Civil War. That's from a man sitting there talking to Devil Anse and Cap and Johnson and all these people. And that's the take that he took away from it. Anse Hatfield killed Asa Harmon McCoy, hypothetically. T.C. Crawford. Even after visiting Devil Anse, he does not deny killing Asa. He just says if a man did, he would not be wise to admit it. Let me ask something. If you killed a man during the Civil War, there's another article where it talks about him being arrested, that he never was arrested for killing Asa Harmon. Well, if you're killing somebody during the Civil War, you're not going to be arrested, you're in war.
Right.
Why would he deny killing Asa Harmon, or say that if he did do it, he wouldn't be wise for him to admit it?
Right.
Well, it don't matter if you're in war. The thing was, he'd been sent home. It was over with. He was not at fighting. He was hiding out in a cave, so he was not a fighting participant of the war. That's why they were worried about being arrested from it, because he was no longer a Union soldier. The last one, T.C. Crawford. There was a little toddler of 6. He sat and listened to the tales told by his father, with rows of Winchesters laying around the background, with the hungry look as if he was eager for the time when he would grow up to become a useful member of society for the extermination of people against the Hatfield interest. T.C. Crawford. There was a little kid sitting there listening to Devil Anse tell these stories with so much interest, like one day when he grows up, he can't wait to take up and fight for the McCoy, or for the Hatfields rather.
To kill McCoy.
Or that's the take that T.C. Crawford got on that. Once again, we just found that interesting. T.C. Crawford is the one where he called us hillbillies, and we're from the hills, and so forth like that. So William Anderson Hatfield, of course, William, the short for William is Bill. So that's where he got the hillbilly supposedly, and the post where he's, well, look on the front of his book, the famous Hatfield photo where they're all out there with their rifles and guns.
Yep.
And once again, you know, you will never see on our Hatfield McCoy lamps up here, on the Hatfield McCoy lamps, you'll never see a picture of, this is Devil Anse with his rifle. You got Randall McCoy over here holding a pistol. There's never been a picture
nowhere
of Randall McCoy with a gun, pistol or rifle. This is my mother and father here. This is back in 1974 when Dad bought that set of lamps off of Jimmy Wolford. That was one of the first sets that came out that he sold, and he got them from Mom. And I'm going to show you all something while we're here. I'll probably do it in another video later on, but look at these two lamp shades. Look here what a little stem on this shade, and look here what a stem on this shade. Now, Jimmy Wolford done these, and he laughed about it in later years of how he wanted to make Devil Anse appear taller than Randall McCoy. Randall McCoy was actually 6 foot. Devil Anse was actually 5'6". But look how they made the lamps to make him look bigger, because the Hatfield market was going to be for him. And they wanted to pretend. So from the beginning of this feud, and especially the marketing era of, say, 1974, when Jimmy McCoy Wolford started really promoting the Hatfield McCoy thing, and he wrote that song, 6'4", bulletproof or whatever it was, you know. That's where it came from. It started off as a joke, and they took it from there. It grew. It stuck. Hey, that concludes this video. Sheila, you got anything?
No, thanks. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was wondering if you really had anything. I'm sorry I messed the video up. Listen, we're just learning. All we're trying to do is get the information out there. We're not trying to be great about it.
We like to be decent enough to where you all can get our point. And understand what we're saying.
And I got to be nice in talking to her, or she'll start the video over on me. She gets mad, and Sheila's got a good heart and tries to make me
be nice.
But there's a way to. I've got to tell you. I've got to correct some of these stories and let you know what's going on, because they won't let me join none of these Facebook pages, because when I put it on there, they get mad and
kick you off.
They gang up on me. The Hatfields, West Virginia Hatfields,
come out of the woodworks.
And some of these, let me tell you something about these Facebook pages. Some of them's not West Virginia Hatfields. Some of them's Florida Hatfields or something that moved away. Some of them's authors, and they take a fake name and they put a fake name on there, and they act like they're from California or different places, and they act like they're commenting as a neutral person, and that's not the way it is. They've just got 2 or 3 Facebook pages and they comment. And I don't play that game. I'd rather just tell me the way it is, and let's much easier like that. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and
ring that bell, please.
Thank y'all.
Bye. I want to show you one more thing. We showed the picture over there of Bob and Cora, but here is Bridget. But there is also the lamp of Randall McCoy in the background. Bridget is Fred's baby sister. Okay. Thank you. Bye.